G'day. Welcome to Divine Stream Radio Podcast. I'm Graeme Blaiklock, your host. Today we're exploring Job 36, where Elihu continues his discourse, revealing profound insights about God's character and justice. But getting Job's problems completely wrong because, once again, Elihu is totally unaware of the deal that God has struck with Satan test Job's integrity. There's no wonder that the patience of Job has become a proverb. Elihu emphasizes that God is just and does not despise anyone. He explains that God is mighty and fair, rewarding the righteous and watching over them. Elihu suggests that God uses discipline to guide us back to the right path. This perspective encourages us to view challenges as opportunities for growth and alignment with God's will. Elihu describes God's greatness as beyond human comprehension. This reminder calls us to humility and reverence, acknowledging that God's plans are higher than ours. As high above ours as the heavens are above the earth. Elihu declares God's care for the oppressed and his attention to the afflicted, stating that God is attentive to those who suffer. Elihu reassures that God hears the cries of the afflicted and acts on their behalf. How frustrating it must have been for Job to hear Elihu pontificating, who, in his righteousness, has cried to God in affliction all this time that he has been afflicted. However, Elihu urges listeners to turn away from iniquity and embrace God's teachings. This call to repentance highlights the opportunity for transformation and renewal. Elihu points to nature as a testament to God's power. The changing weather and mighty forces of creation reflect his sovereign control over the universe. By observing the natural world, we gain insights into God's majesty and our place within his creation. This perspective fosters awe and trust in God's providence. Reflecting on Job 36, may we recognize God's justice, embrace his discipline, and find inspiration in the majesty of his creation. Thanks for listening. I invite you to join the discussion. Visit our podcast super site at godstreamradio.com, where you'll find podcasts from leading Christian authors and many Christian musicians. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Divine Stream Radio newsletter, where you'll receive inspiring messages and have the chance to enter our weekly draw to win one of Dr. Michael Youssef's books. You can subscribe by clicking the link in this podcast or by visiting divinestreamradio.com directly. And don't forget, join us at the Job movie release at Collaroy United Cinema. That has inspired readers and believers for 3,000 years. Our upcoming screening of the Book of Job at Collaroy United Theatre is on Wednesday, 20th May at 6 p.m. Job is one of the greatest biblical stories ever told, exploring faith, suffering, and perseverance. You can rent or buy the film from the podcast description below. Join us for this impactful event and experience the story that has challenged and inspired believers for generations.